if your neighbor turned his front yard into a garbage dump overflowing with trash.
Well, it's a reality for a neighborhood in downtown Salt Lake City. Now their frustrations are overflowing because they say officials aren't doing enough to fix this blight.
They decided to get Gephardt, and Matt started investigating. It sounds like a big problem, Matt.
Yeah, that it is, Sean and Mark. As the adage goes, you can't pick your neighbors. But have you ever seen anything like this? This is a group of homes in a neighborhood just west of the University of Utah here in Salt Lake City. But here's the thing. Our investigation found this has been an ongoing issue for like 30 years. So what's being done about it? Old boxes, old cars, old, well, pretty much everything you can imagine. Add to all this debris, feral animals and rodents, and an absolutely horrible smell. That's what folks who live in this neighborhood near 200 South and 900 East in Salt Lake City are forced to put up with.
You're living next to a toxic waste dump.
Iran Rosinas and Glenna Wallace live right next door. The couple has had to put chicken wire all over their yard and garden to keep the cats from using their yard as a litter box. It helps, barely.
It really smells bad. You walk outside and it just smells like a trash can the whole time. You can't leave your windows open.
That's going to turn pink.
Oh, okay.
Brandon Christensen lives across the street with his young family.
The mess is just atrocious. We just have a hard time even walking our dogs by. The stench and the pigeons it brings in, the rodents. It's just a horrible, horrible mess over there.
These neighbors tell me the people who live here will raid their trash cans and pile anything they find all around their home.
I don't know that there's anything quite this bad anywhere.
It is against the law, of course, to let your property get like this. It violates all kinds of city ordinances and health codes. That's why neighbors I spoke to tell me they are particularly frustrated. They say their complaints to Salt Lake City officials do not result in a cleanup.
That the city is just not doing anything.
Is the city doing enough?
We know it's an incredibly frustrating situation.
I took it to Salt Lake City and spokesperson Matthew Rojas.
The city is taking every step we can.
Rojas says the city is listening to complaints and they are taking action, but
The city doesn't have the right to just go onto someone's private property, even in a situation like this.
that is true. There is a lengthy process that must be undertaken. It starts with citations, then several court filings before a city can send bulldozers in and clean it up. The city knows that from experience. In fact, in the past 30 years, the city has cleaned up this particular property a half dozen times at a cost to taxpayers of more than $124,000. The city sends the bills to the property owners, but the owners do not pay.
We've taken action against the owners. We have multiple liens against the owners.
Liens, yes, but the city has not gone down the path of foreclosing on the home and evicting the people who live here to try to recoup those debts. What they have done is lock them up for a few months. That did not work.
We've actually taken criminal action against the owners several years ago. It hasn't deterred these individuals.
Hello? As for the root of the issue, why the property owners collect all this trash, it is hard to say.
My name is Matt, and I'm a reporter at Channel 2.
I spoke to one owner for about an hour. To each of my questions, I got largely incoherent answers.
And I was curious if you had anything you wanted to say on that.
Can I say something?
Yes, sir.
You know there's a controversy about a black hole. You understand about
I don't.
the black hole?
No.
In astronomy?
Yeah, I know what a black hole is. Yes, sir.
Is it part of the? Is it part of everywhere?
I don't know.
This is just common sense.
Okay.
So we're just asking for help.
The city is currently moving forward, trying to legally force the equation again. Meanwhile, the ugly, smelly blight remains.
How much do you poison the neighborhood before it's not just a find that one can ignore?
All right, there is one bit of good news for residents in this neighborhood. The city has been in court again on this issue for about a year now, and just today the city got a big win. The judge gave the homeowner 30 days to clean it up, or the city can go back and do it themselves. But this time, the judge also permanently enjoined those homeowners from letting their property get this bad again, which means if it happens again, it should be a much quicker process for city officials to be able to get in and do that cleanup work.